So welcome everyone to the second Synapses webinar on Erasmus KA1 staff mobility funding. My name is Myrthe Stienstra. I represent the European School Heads Association within the Synapses project. I will tell you a little bit more about that in a second, but to get started, I'm curious how you are all doing here today. So in just a moment, you will either receive a pop-up on your screen, or you can go to the chat and let us know, how are you doing? You feeling great? Not great? Starting the week, just might have had a great weekend. Let us know how you're feeling. I'll leave the poll active so you can get back to your responses. So just quickly about Synapses. Synapses is a European funded project. We're a teacher academy, which means that our main focus is on the professional development of teachers. And for Synapses specifically, we focus on school leaders as well. And we support these groups for specifically sustainability citizenship development, so building sustainable schools. Now, in the framework of this, we organize summer schools as well as trainings, but for today I'm focusing on the summer school that will take place in Marathon, Greece this summer. I think we will have the dates up later, Sofoklis. And the nice thing about this summer school is anyone can access, and it also falls within the funding opportunities of the Erasmus Plus Key Action 1 funding. Now we will talk the whole morning about this, so I won't go into that right now, and I will leave that over to the expert. But I'm just quickly curious to see who we have in here today. So where are you based, or maybe more specifically, where is your workplace based? Could you let us know? So you can see I'm based in Belgium. That should pop up for all of you. I see Ireland, Greece, Netherlands. Got 4 responses. Turkey in the chat. Great, thank you. Well, keep them coming. We're asking this because, well, the idea of the mobility funding is that you see if you can visit other countries. So that has an effect if you would like to visit the summer school in Greece, but you're also based in Greece. All right. We'll go into that more later. I will now introduce Sofoklis Sotiriou. He's a colleague of mine on the project of Synapses. We work for different organizations. He is the head of research of the research department in the Greek school Ellinogermaniki Agogi, where him and his team have been working on Erasmus Plus projects and other Erasmus or European projects for the last 20 or so years, probably longer, doing research in education and providing professional development. And so he would be the expert to ask and to tell about everything to do with this application process, and also how to increase your chances of actually getting it. So in the next hour, he will walk you through the process and give some tips and tricks. Now, before I hand over the microphone and let him share a screen, just a couple of housekeeping rules. As you might see, this session is recorded, so make the decision for yourself whether you want to be on camera or not, and also when you engage in the chats, that others can actually see this. The microphones have been turned off for this purpose. If you raise your hand, we are able to unmute your mic if you think this is needed. But you can also ask your questions in the Q&A or in the chat, which I will be monitoring. Then finally, we will end this session with a short evaluation. So it would be great if you can stay around, and we will share some final tips and tricks as well on how we will proceed the coming days. I think that's everything from my side. Sofoklis, thank you for being here, and I will hand over the microphone or the stage to you.
Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me. I will share my screen now, and um, I hope you can see in order to start the presentation. I would like to say that we have let's say here we would like of course to present all the aspects, but please feel free anytime to share your concerns, comments, and so on. I don't know how many of you have experience in Erasmus, or how many have already an accreditation, let's say, in the specific plan. Or we are discussing here for initial efforts to get involved in Erasmus. What I have to say is that Erasmus is offering unique opportunities and significant funding to schools to participate in these mobility activities, and it's really a nice way to get introduced in innovative projects and activities, and let's say get some experience on how to design your own initiatives afterwards. So, few words about us, the European School Innovation Academy, that is organizing this series of courses in Marathon, but also in other locations in Europe, is running since 2008, and is focusing on three key axes: school organization, curriculum development and organization, and providing practical examples and tools. In most of the cases, they have been tested in the framework of the project. So the academy is in principle acting as let's say, as a way to share, as an outreach plan of the different projects, to share the outcomes with interested teachers. The first course took place in Heraklion, Crete in 2008 with 25 participants at that time. And since then, we have run more than 120 courses in different places involving more than 4,000 teachers. Since 2017, we have joined forces with ESCA, the European School Heads Association, because it's very crucial also to offer these opportunities not only to teachers, but also to school heads, who are really the key players, let's say, for the transformation of the school environment. So Synapses course is such a case. So here in the specific, taking also the opportunity and the support of the European funding under Synapses program. Synapses is one of the selected, let's say, academies, teacher academies from the European Union. We have this opportunity to further expand our activities in this framework. As I said, the current funding for mobility and teachers' professional development activities, like the KA1 actions, are receiving significant interest from the European Union, and significant funding is allocated to this. So this increases, of course, the chances for having your project funded. Some key issues that you have to take into account. Here we are talking for school application. So the school is making the application. The school has to identify the needs. The school has to find ways how to deal with the different problems, the different needs that the teachers are facing, the school heads are facing, the school as an organization is facing, and how they have to really propose how through these training courses can support the teaching staff to improve the situation. So the school makes the application, and it can include the participation of two courses. It can include job shadowing opportunities or even partnerships with other schools. So there are two ways. The first way is to submit a whole plan, an action plan, a school development plan for a long period, and this will cover the total duration of the program, or to submit individual applications, which is, of course, more demanding. On the other hand, you can always fine-tune the application and focus on specific needs that maybe they were not thought or taken into consideration when the overall action plan was submitted once. So the application can last, let's say, from 6 to 18 months. And the upcoming deadline is on the 19th of February. Here, I would like, let's say, to provide some information about this. The deadline, as we said, for the applications are on the 19th of February. There are some cases where some short-term projects can be also open on the 1st of October in case that there is funding from the national agency. So this is not always a European common plan, but only in cases that there is funding left from the first round of proposals. Then some national agencies have the possibility to open a second one on the 1st of October. And for schools that are following the accreditation process, the deadline is on the 1st of October. So here in the specific meeting, if we have participants who have already received the accreditation from Erasmus and their action plan is focusing on green issues, they can really, through a simple process, ask for funding for their teachers or school heads to participate in the course that we are going to present and discuss. So the school is being accredited only once in the 7 years. This process, as I said, has some advantages, as you don't have every time to fill in the full application. On the other hand, by using the accreditation scheme, you have to take into account that you have to cover all possible aspects that are emerging during this period, and this in some cases is setting some restrictions. So it's up to the schools, to the teachers and the school heads to decide which process they prefer to follow. The overall structure of the application includes, I would say, if I can say, 3 key parts. The first one, that is referred here as background and project objectives, is focusing on the needs of the school. You have to describe in detail the needs of the school. You can say, for example, based on the national or European guidelines and strategies, we would like to enhance the development of green competencies to our students. So we would like our teachers to get introduced in these issues, and by applying a multidisciplinary approach or a whole school approach to really engage our students in more meaningful activities about the environment, about sustainability, fighting the climate change, and so on. This could be a general issue. So then you have to present the objectives. So like we would like to train our teachers in this and this and this. We would like to support the work of our school heads in this and this and this, and somehow trying to transform the needs on specific educational objectives for the teaching staff. The second part, that it is also very crucial, are the proposed activities that are following the project objectives. So there, in the activities, you have to describe which courses or which other actions are you planning to follow, to attend, in order to support the professional development of the teaching staff and the school heads of the school. There is not necessary to describe in detail the course or name the course, but you have to describe the general characteristics of this course in order to have the opportunity to make a good connection, I would say, between the needs and the proposed activities. Of course, if the courses are already announced and you have the chance to connect your objectives, your plans with specific course, this is clearly a significant advantage for your application, as you know exactly the objectives of the course, the duration of the course. You can make an exact plan on how this activity will support your overall plan. There are any issues related with the budget. The budget, of course, is calculated automatically while you are filling in the application and you define the number of participants and so on. But another very important part of the application is coming later, which is the follow-up. In the follow-up, you have to demonstrate how the, let's say, educational outcomes, the training that the teachers and the school heads have received, can be used later for the whole school. When these teachers, the participants, the school head are back, how are going to interact with the local educational community, how the information, the knowledge can be spread to a wider community, and how the local community can take advantage of this. This can include, for example, cooperation also not only with external stakeholders in the local community, making a presentation, for example, of what had happened and so on, organizing this kind of events, but also cooperation or setting up a small network of schools in order to share your experience with also teachers that are working in other schools. So these are some basic ideas. Of course, the form includes other points that we are going to discuss in more detail, but I wanted, let's say, to highlight these key parts of the proposal. Also, the presentation will be available to all of you, along also with all the support that we are providing through the website of the Summer Academy, and you can come back to these issues anytime you want. So it's very important the school to register, of course, to the system, to have a specific identification number that can be, you can get this number by contacting the national agency and their website and make the necessary process. In the first part of the application, you have to present the basic information about the project, the start date, the duration of the project, and of course to give a project title that is related, of course, with the activities that you are planning to perform. Then the project summary follows, is focusing, let's say, on the key aspects that of course are going to be presented in detail later, is focusing on background, on the background of the project, in principle related with the needs, the objectives, and the expected result, the results, the expected impact to your school. Then we are entering in more detail on the background. There is some administrative information in the beginning, the type of organization, and so on. And then we have a series of questions that we have to answer by providing the more or less describing the current status of the school. So which are the main activities, which are the activities that are related with the theme of the application, how the current status has, what is the impact of the current status of the school to the work of the teachers, how which is their profile, how they can, which are the challenges they are facing while they are trying to do their job, and so on. And of course, also if there is experience from the school working in the specific field. Here, this is highly, I mean, your answer is highly related with what you want to achieve. I mean, Erasmus is really has been designed for the newcomers. It's not necessary to try to demonstrate significant experience, for example, in a field, because this is what you are going to achieve by participating in the different courses and the different activities that you have in your plan. On the other hand, if you are trying, let's say, to you have already experience and you would like to build, I mean, maybe the school has significant experience in implementing new technologies in the school curriculum. And now, for example, I would say with artificial intelligence, further support and guidance is needed from one side to the school heads, how to organize these new issues. On the other hand, to the teachers, how they can use AI in their lessons. And this, let's say, is you have to design this part very carefully. So you can also add some examples, let's say, in order to describe the challenges you are facing. So this is very important and very good for the application. I will provide also some examples later when we will discuss the contents of the Synapses course. You have to describe one by one the objectives. So what you want to achieve, which needs and challenges that you have described before you are going to cover, and how. And of course, later how you will be able to evaluate the impact of these activities. Do you expect some changes, for example, at the way the lessons are introduced? Do you expect better organization of the school environment? Do you, which are really the measures that you are going to apply in order to assess the impact of the specific intervention? So this is, let's say, the overall. This is closing, let's say, the first part about the needs and the aims. Then we are moving to the activities. See here, as we said, you have the opportunity to select if you have specific information. For example, like a course like SYNAPSES, you can select the destination country. You can the maximum number of participants here per course are 3. Every school can send maximum 3 participants in the same course. The duration, if there are also people that are supporting the work here, for example, you can send if there are, and you can demonstrate that there are issues about the language, for example, the language of the course, and the fact that your teachers are not familiar, let's say, with English. There is always some support for teachers who can support the translation and so on. Or if there is the opportunity, if you have people that have they have to deal with special needs and they need an accompanying person for support, again, this funding can be used, and extra number of persons, additional number of persons can be used. Yeah, then there is the overall plan here. This is automatically filled in, and you can add a second, for example, a second course. You can add a third course. Don't forget that it's not, let's say, a wise idea to submit such an application and make all this effort only for participating in one course, but to try to find a number of courses, a number of activities, maybe discuss some job shadowing opportunities, and include everything in the same application for the next, let's say, 1 year, for the next 1.5 year. Or maybe you can say that the teachers are going to attend a series of courses. It's not only one course, but they're going to attend a course this year and another course next year. So you can include all these opportunities in the same application. This is a way to, let's say, to somehow reduce the workload for the preparation of the application. Some points here. The duration must be within the limits defined by the program guide. So it could be between 2 and 10 days. And a maximum of 3 persons can receive funding for attending the same course. In the case of SYNAPSES course, there are 3 satellite courses. So in principle, in case that you want to focus, let's say, on specific aspects that I'm going to present in detail later, you have to fill in the application, taking into account that the participants are attending different courses, so you have to introduce a separate mobility flow for each group that is attending the different courses. So here we have also an example that the mobility flow ID is different, and there are 3 participants for each of the different courses, although that these courses, for example, can take place in the same time frame. The description. Now we have to describe the profile of the participants, which teachers are going to attend the specific course and why, how is this connected with the needs that were identified. We have to describe the expected learning outcomes. Here, this has to be connected and directly linked with the educational objectives and the learning outcomes of the courses. I will discuss again this further. And provide specific examples of how the course will support the key objectives of your project. So there is a very strong connection between this section and the previous section about the background and the project objectives. So they must be really very well consistent in order to offer you the opportunity to get a good result, let's say good marks in the overall application. And okay, there are providing, in case that you don't know from the beginning which are the organizations that are offering these courses, you can let's say provide a general profile of what you are looking for in order to guarantee, let's say, that the course will be of high level, it will have the necessary quality, and so on. And in principle, it will meet all the standards set by the Erasmus program. This is another very important aspect, to make sure that the course you are going to attend and the organizations that are offering the courses are of the necessary quality. They are meeting in principle the quality standards also that are defined by the Erasmus Plus. There are 4, I would say, key areas in the Erasmus program. For teachers and school heads who are familiar, maybe they know, but in principle, these are focusing on sustainability. It is related to the Green Erasmus, on digital education, the digital Erasmus, the active participation and the democratic values, and of course the inclusion and diversity, which is a very hot point also for Erasmus. So you have to make sure that your application is, let's say, is part of this overall strategy of Erasmus program. So what is coming next? What will be the process to share the results of the activities and the knowledge gained by the training program, which is the strategy that your organization, your school will have to share the results. If the results will be public, if you are planning to share them with other schools, with other local stakeholders, and of course, it is important in all cases to make sure that there is some, let's say, acknowledgement of the European Union funding that you have received. But this will be, in any case, let's say, defined also in the contract. In case that you get the application, you will need to sign a contract. The school signs a contract with the national agency, and all this information is also presented there and is, in any case, requested by the national agency. So you have to name, of course, the national agency and, of course, the Erasmus program and the European funding. Now, how can Synapses Academy and the site that we have prepared can help you? In principle, in the same time, we have the Synapses course that is introducing the sustainability citizenship concept. This is the key characteristic. The Synapses course is focusing on both teachers and school heads. So it is organized in a way that there are common sessions for teachers and school heads, and at some point there are specific section only for teachers, focusing on the design of green learning scenarios, while the school heads are working on the development of green action plans for their schools. At the same time, we have three, let's say, satellite courses on issues that in the previous course, for example, were presented as good practices. Now, teachers who came in the previous course, they have the chance to participate in more in-depth investigations in the specific areas. So we have the Clever Food course that is focusing on sustainable food systems. The NEB lab course that is focusing on using, let's say, the school building as a green lab and taking advantage from different, let's say, improvements, energy-related improvements on the school building to act as starting points for further investigation for the students. And the last one that is focusing on nature-based solutions. So introducing challenge-based learning for students who are looking for solutions to current major challenges. So if you go to the website of Synapses Academy, you can go under the under support, and there are specific information on Erasmus Plus, how to apply. So all this information that we are sharing is related to that, and we have, of course, also video documentation related to the information that you can get. So we have information on how to start, how to set up the proposal. All these issues that I have discussed with tips for success are included there in the materials that we have. Just to give you an example, I mentioned before how we connect the course, the description of the course with the learning outcomes. For example, on the Synapses website, the expected learning outcomes are presented in detail on the website. So this part of the application, of course, adapted to your needs. So don't just copy paste this and put it there, but adapt it to your needs. But these key objectives, key learning outcomes are there to guide you through the process. So here you can make this connection. This is very crucial. You know, many teachers who are interested to apply and school heads, first they look very closely the educational aims, the learning outcomes of the proposed course where they want to go, and then they combine this with the objectives of their project to make sure that there is a very strong connection. So maybe in some cases you have first to fill in the second part of the application and then come back and fine-tune the objectives in order to be really harmonized with what the different courses that you are planning to attend are focusing on. Also, we have information about the description. So here is the overall ideas, what the Synapses Academy and the specific course is aiming to empower education, to promote diverse pedagogical frameworks, how we can work, for example, with inquiry, how we can introduce inquiry on our lessons, how we can design multidisciplinary activities that are needed for a whole school approach, how we can promote cooperation with our colleagues, creating, let's say, an integrated curriculum, or even with external stakeholders to enrich the educational experiences of our students, how to, let's say, transform the school to operate as a school ecosystem, as a whole school ecosystem. Like this is also related with needs and challenges also for the school heads. as also the last one, the long-term impact, how we will make changes that will remain and they will continue, and the teachers and the school heads will continue building on this framework. So all this information is available for you on the website in order to make the necessary connections with your needs, and to include that in the information that you are going to present in your application. The same holds for the follow-up. Again, is providing a series of ideas on how you can build on what the participants of the course have learned, and how this can be shared with the school community, with the local community, or with other schools when they are back. This is, let's say, a draft of the program is based in principle on what we have run the previous year. The program is going to be about the same. Here, I would like, let's say, to emphasize on the concepts that are related with the whole school approach and how we can transform our school to a living lab, that it is a core part of the introductory part of the course. Very interesting pedagogical aspects like challenge-based learning and inquiry-based learning that are crucial for introducing innovative aspects like sustainability in the curriculum. And as we said, last year we have presented a number of best practices. The same we will do also this year, about how, for example, we can set up projects in the school canteen, the green canteen, how we can promote sustainable food systems in the school environment, or how we can work with energy solutions that have been installed on the school building to transform the school building to a lab where the students can get the data and see how they can have, let's say, some impact to the operation of the school building, and at the same time to support their behavioral change towards the environment. So these are some key issues that we are introducing. Of course, in the course, there is time for the participants to design their own scenarios, because even before the start of the course, we are asking from the participants to come with their own ideas, and we are trying to help them by providing this guidance and also some best practices to develop their scenarios further for teachers, and their action plans further for the school heads. And apart of that, there are also opportunities for establishing cooperations. We have a program with visits, with cultural visits, and also at the end, we are offering the opportunity to, especially for teachers who have not received funding, and they are coming with other ways, they are funding their participation in other ways. We are always devoting some time to provide guidance on how to submit an application for the next year, or how the school heads can submit an action plan for accreditation under Erasmus. So these are some the participants from 2024 course at the conference venue, and some moments from the work that has been done with teachers and school heads one year ago. I would like to to ask you to have a close look to the website of your national agency before submitting your application. Have a look to the results from the previous year, and this will help you to see how many applications are approved, and also the level, the size of the budget that the different schools are asking. And you can see that these numbers, for example, here in Cyprus, they are varying significantly. So if we have, let's say, a plan to send a number of teachers, we have really to design a project that it will make sure that we'll have the necessary funds to support their training. You have to be very careful when you are asking for teachers to participate in this kind of events. You are taking also into account how you are going to deal with their absence from the school in case that the training is taking place during the school year. In case of SYNAPSES, this is outside the school year, so this point is not maybe related. In some countries, though, like Germany, for example, the schools are still in operation till the end of July. So teachers from Germany or countries that they have this, they are following this plan, have to take into account. Overall, the average cost of these projects for about 1 year is about 20,000 euros in most of the European countries. But please have a look, have a close look. All this information is available on your national agency website, and you will get a first idea. And of course, you can interact with them. You can contact them and discuss with them all your concerns and issues related to the application. This is highly recommended. So thank you so much for your attention. I don't know if there are questions in the chat. So Myrthe, if there are some issues, please let me know. I will stop sharing for the moment, and if it is necessary, I will come back.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sofoklis. Indeed, there have not been any questions in the chat, so I was also curious. Do you have any questions about what Dr. Sotiriou has just spoken about? You can put them in the chat, or if you raise your hand, I can unmute. Maybe you're okay. So are the above dates the only dates available? Is a question in the chat. So the question that are the dates that I have shared in the chat, they are the dates for the SYNAPSES Summer School. Now, ESIA is organizing multiple summer schools that go through all of the summer. When it comes to the application for Erasmus Plus funding, you are much more flexible. So the SYNAPSES Summer School is one of the courses that you can take part in. And yes, the webinar is recorded.
What I would like to say is that SYNAPSES is, let's say, one of the, I think there are 26 academies funded from the European Union. And through these academies, the European Union aims to emphasize the key challenges for education this moment. As I mentioned, one of these major areas is the green Erasmus, as they call it. Okay, this is focusing on mainly on the promotion of the Green Deal program and the use of the green competence framework that has been proposed from the European Union 2 years ago. So, in case that your school, in case that you are interested to see how these issues can be introduced in the school environment, but not just repeating what has been done, just designing scenarios that are standalone and so on. But if you want really to create multidisciplinary projects and activities, if you can, in case that you are a school head, you are looking for a way to set up a green action plan for your school for the next years, then Synapses Academy can support these aims. So have a look to the objectives that are on the website. If there are concerns, questions, and so on, please feel free. Myrthe and myself, and Alexandros, my colleague, we are always ready to support you. And in case that you have an application in progress, we would be more than happy to provide further support for you. This is independent if you are we don't expect that you are focusing only on Synapses. I mean, you can make the application in order to participate in numerous courses, not only the courses we are organizing in Greece, but also during the whole, for the whole duration of the year. So for us, it is not a problem to provide support and guidance in these aspects, or even to educate in case that we know additional courses that are related to other fields like digital technologies, inclusion, and so on. So please feel free to share your concerns and questions, and we will try to cope with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, while we're in the call, of course, you can keep on asking questions in the chat or in the Q&A. If they pop up, if you have any questions about the webinar so far, but maybe there is something that we didn't discuss. So I will launch a poll now that you can find either on your screen or in the chat, where you can indicate if maybe there's another part of the application that you have a question about. I'll leave that open, and maybe you've already looked at the application form and there was something very specific that you couldn't figure out. Okay, there's a question in the chat that says, where can we access the national agencies to help with the application? I will share a link of that in the chat. So I'm sharing an Erasmus Plus a general link, and this website links all the national agencies. Some countries have multiple, depending on where you're from. So these are often also very happy to help and support. So at the moment,
Myrthe,
yes.
as let's say the number of participants is limited, would you like to tell us if you have if there are participants who have already initiated the process for preparing an Erasmus KA1 application?
I will allow the microphones to be turned on. Give me a second for that.
Or they can say yes or no on the chat.
chat.
It's not just to get an impression. If
Great. Linda says, I've completed one last year for the school staff. This time I'm looking to organize for a group of school leaders. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Very happy to support there. And last year was successful as well, I presume.
And also we have to say, especially for the case of Linda, this is a major issue that also is presented in numerous calls. Not only, I mean, this goes beyond KA1, also in KA2 projects, how to develop, for example, green action plans, adapting the whole school approach for the school heads. Huh? This is a very hot, if I can say, topic. So
Yeah.
it's really very good.
Absolutely.
There is a question from Linda.
Yeah.
I would like to say that Synapses Academy is organizing both national and international events. Some of them are much shorter in duration in case that you want to attend. Of course, as you understand, you cannot have this overall approach and participatory design concept that is introduced in a 6 days course. But if you want to have a glimpse, let's say, of what we are doing, please follow the Synapses website, and there are announcements of the different events. Linda, from which country are you coming from? From Ireland. Is that correct? Okay. So in Ireland we have a team from TCU and a training center, the Dublin West Education Center, where our representatives, let's say in Ireland, and they are organizing also national events in case that you want to attend a short-term course without, let's say, not even entering in the process of submitting a KA1 proposal, because the KA1 funding is coming only in the case that you are traveling abroad. And as you understand, to make the whole effort to travel abroad for a 2 days course, including one day, 4 days, the overall for 2 days course, I think it's a bit difficult, but in any case, these are some options.
I think we're rounding up here then for the central part. So if you have no more questions, you're free to go. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, we hope to see you this summer or in another moment in the future during professional development activities.
Bye bye. Thank you.
All right. Bye.